We are early by 1 minute. 1 minute early, folks. 1 minute early for the supplemental. What is it, Ian? Dr. Watt. Is it Dr. Who or Dr. Watt?
Dr.
Hoolander. Disney's
Dr. Watt.
Hoolander.
Okay.
Bumberclot.
Okay. Let's. Should we just start where we'll just pick up where we left off? Okay. So this week's in the bin. Does anybody know what this week's in the bin is? Anybody? Can we guess? Anybody? Z, can you guess?
Well, guessing from the title of the stream.
Anybody?
Silly Gatwick.
Yes. It's Snooty Gobshite.
How did you guess? Okay.
Oh,
is it I see
next
you
Tuesday. Yeah.
next Thursday? See what is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go, folks. So this dropped
Like a turd.
this week on the. I think I watched it on the iPlayer before it was transmitted. So, Doctor Who episode. Apparently, this is officially this is season 1 on Internet Movie Database.
See, even Jodie Whittaker wants to distance herself from this.
Yes. Okay, so it's the first 2 episodes of Doctor Who, or is it what, Ian?
Dr. What?
Technically, it's the second and third episode because they consider the first one, the Ruby Road one, they consider that season 1, episode 1.
Okay. That's
Space
Christmas
Babies is
doodah.
episode 2, and the drag queen lady is I don't know what the episode is called, but that one's episode
Devil's
3.
Cord.
The man.
Okay. Price, you're first on the visual cues in the queue on the avatars. Did you watch the episodes?
I did. I watched them both, and I even, as I was telling you before, I took notes because I'm working on some type of review.
Yeah. And you are a Doctor Who fan, yes?
Yes, I am. I mean, I like Doctor Who more classic, and maybe up until I didn't love the scripts that Capaldi was given, but I thought that at least he was a good doctor.
Oh, he was, yes.
So, and now compared to anything we're seeing now, I would take any episode of his era over anything we're seeing now. It's like one of those situations where later you look at it like the prequels or Hobbit or whatever it is, and you say, well, it's not as bad as it could have been, I guess.
So what was the first episode? It was Babies.
Space Babies.
Space
Okay.
Babies, yes.
Which he said about 8 times, apparently, in the from what I heard in the clips.
Babbers.
Yep.
Space Babbers.
Space Babies, Babies. And each time he says it, he's more flamboyant than the previous time.
So, first episode then, Price, thoughts?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts. I mean, it starts off with basically it starts off where the Church of Ruby Road, the last episode left off. Ruby Sunday, sorry, not Ruby Rose. Ruby Sunday walks into the TARDIS, and he's there, and he's like, "I'm the Doctor," but he says it in such a, again, I don't like to overuse the word flamboyant. There's something about the delivery there I already don't like it, and.
But you called it the TARDIS, which is wrong. It's now the TARDIS. TARDIS.
You're right.
It is. It's that Scottish brogue coming through.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah, shooting Gatwa or whatever.
So then what happens is that he tells her that he's I don't know if he tells her what they do. They play around.
By the way.
Oh, total spoilers! But
spoilers, honestly, everybody.
I don't feel like I'm spoiling anything for anybody.
There's nothing to spoil.
There's nothing to spoil, really. If you really love whatever's going on there, go watch it. But I personally don't feel like I'm spoiling anything. I'm doing you a favor, actually. Anybody that's listening, I'm helping you that you don't have to watch it. So the thing starts off where they go 150 million years back in time, and they see a dinosaur. And then there's some gag that because Ruby steps on a butterfly.
I quite like that, to be fair.
That gag would have worked in a situation if everything is great and you just have a little joke. It
Yeah.
maybe could have been passable. But the thing is that nothing is good here, so that gag just kind of there's not enough goodwill to make that gag work, if that makes any sense.
I know
Doesn't
how
he?
that
He
feels,
brings it back
yes.
to life by blowing on it, even though she's crushed it under her foot.
Which again doesn't make any sense. Like he's blowing the butterfly and the butterfly
Well, is to giving it some Doctor Who power, regeneration juice. Is that correct? Can they
you
do
know,
that now?
I didn't know that it worked that way. I
I
guess
thought that was what he did.
you know, it seems like you're right, and that's what he was doing. I was thinking to myself, why would he blow the butterfly and the butterfly would resurrect? But I was just thinking very kind of naughty things to myself and laughing. That probably like naughty jokes that like maybe are not appropriate for this stream. But in any
You're
case,
very dark.
he blew the butterfly and the butterfly rose up and then Rose turned back into human and they go back in and then at this point the next they press the buttons or do whatever and the controls of the TARDIS and they arrive on some spaceship, and on the spaceship there's basically babies that can talk. They
It's
kind
not
of
a spaceship; it's a space station.
space station. Sorry. You're right. It's a space station. I said spaceship because I remember that it was able to. By the end of the episode, there's like they're able to move.
Yeah,
In
but
their
they're
prams.
right because of the farts and the whatever.
Oh,
it moved because of a load of shit.
A load of shit, which is very symbolic for the episode itself. That at the end,
you're missing this, Ian, as well.
Thank God.
So they arrive. Anybody can jump in here, but they arrive on the spaceship with the babies. The babies are talking, and initially, this is also a part where there's a bunch of things that are annoying. Fully embracing all that timeless child kind of thing. The Doctor to me seems very kind of whiny. Oh, my people are gone. What am I gonna do? Oh, don't worry. And he's all touchy feely and sensitive. It doesn't work.
They're all
for
dead
me.
again. Yeah, because we've done all this before. The Time Lords were all killed off, and then no, they weren't really killed off. Then they got killed off again for reasons.
Yeah, going with the touchy feeling stuff.
Right.
He can't keep his hands off what's her name? Ruby?
Ruby, yeah, no.
Yeah, if that had been me, that'd be sexual assault.
Harassment,
but it's okay because he's got his privilege card.
His privilege, yeah. I mean, I kind of like. I don't dislike her. I will just say that the only thing about this whole Doctor Who is that I think
Dr.
that she,
Watt.
Dr. What, whatever you want to call it, she actually, in my opinion, could have been a legitimate companion. If I'm thinking of previous Doctors, there's nothing that she does that bothers me. It's just that she's perfectly fine. There's probably been other. I like Sarah Jane better, or whatever, but it's not like it's not that I hate her. I think she's perfectly fine as a companion. And
Sarah Jane never used to say literally every 5 minutes.
That's true. But I'm just saying that she's not terrible, and with the right script and right directors and people working there, I think that something good could have come out of that actress playing it. But it doesn't work because the scripts are terrible and the Doctor himself is just unacceptable for me. And then, sorry.
I was going to say, Franco says, how can he have a privilege card? He's not white. Well, it's 2024. He's got the privilege card. Exactly.
Well, he's a Time Lord, isn't it? Well, he's not a Time Lord anymore because he's a leftover space baby at a space portal. But I mean, he
was referenced,
raised as a Time Lord. So I'm sorry, he's not privileged. He just described him as a bunch of posh people or something, didn't he? So he had to have a dig in that script.
Z, do you want to come in with some of your thoughts on what you saw?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't have to take all of this alone. You take it from here.
No, we're just enjoying listening, but go on, Z.
Watching his performance, Ncuti is like playing it like Marigold from Till Death Do Us Part. He's a bit campy, but overall, I didn't mind his performance, and I think they make a good TARDIS team. However, the relationship with Ruby Sunday doesn't feel like it's been naturally developed. She seems to trust him immediately and implicitly,
Okay.
and they're just far too comfortable together far too soon.
Mm.
I also don't think it's appropriate to call anyone babes, and I wish he'd stop doing it. I find it very disrespectful.
But he's allowed to, though, isn't he?
He is. I kind of understand the butterfly thing. Unfortunately, this was established in The Witcher's Familiar in the Capaldi era when he shares his regeneration energy with Davros. So he
Oh,
can
good episode,
do
that.
that.
I guess.
But there was no regeneration or Artron energy exchanged with the butterfly. He just blew into it. There was no.
They should have put that effect in there because, as it's already been established, he can do it again.
Even though it's shit and
Right.
stupid.
I hated the plot. Space Babies, the monster is a literal bogeyman.
Yeah, bogey, yeah.
Yeah.
Completely made a bogey. So the doctor
Snot
says,
and shit. There's a lot of snot and shit.
It's
Purely
not
because-
good, is it, Z?
No, it's the only one of its kind. So obviously the doctor has to save it, and somehow it turns into a domesticated snot dog at the end. I mean, what are they going to do with it now? How are they going to feed it? How are they going to stop it drying out? How are they going to stop it going feral on the
Moisturise me.
planet and eating everybody?
And meanwhile, there was also a lot of that refugee stuff, and there's all these weird
Yeah,
things in the background that I don't know. It's really felt heavy-handed. But sorry, go on.
Yeah. I mean, the Doctor does eventually find them a planet called Mondo Karoon, but they've got no engines, so he opens up one of the
Fart
bays.
bays.
Yeah,
the-
and the space station, which is
Farts.
uses the
Farts.
expulsion of methane from 6 years of shitty nappy, and you actually see a scene where the spaceship hurtles towards the planet. Now, remember, they don't have engines, so
Thank you, Z. I know exactly where you're going. I thought the
Yeah.
same.
They're going to
Brilliant.
burn up in the atmosphere as Doctor and Ruby
How are they gonna
fuck
stop?
off.
How are they going to stop?
Exactly. How are they going to land? How are they going to get down to
How
the
are they gonna
fucking
stop?
planet?
Well, it's a pro-abortion message, so just saying.
Mm. So all those babies that they just left are dead. Anyway, I found it had the same level of maturity from the Ninth Doctor episodes, Aliens of London and World War III, where you had the Slovene keep making fat and fart jokes. And it was immature then, it's immature now.
RTD
and
really hates fat
Actual
people.
queef power.
the lip syncing on the babies was absolutely bloody terrible. And nearly all of the babies look confused or absolutely fucking terrified about where they
Really?
are. Yeah.
What
I
They're
is
not
agree.
even
That didn't
joking.
look good. That didn't come with all the money they have. That didn't come out very good.
No.
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 I thought one of them, I forget what his name was going to have a heart attack. It was the amount of fear on that baby's face.
The one that was
Jesus.
called Eric, I think.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
it.
RTD was on set.
Ian, you'd really enjoy this. You should check it out, mate, honestly.
All I want to know is how did the Shooty Doctor have an afro in the second one?
Yeah.
It's implied that he puts a wig on. I mean, this is a separate conversation, but I was actually going to bring this up. And this is part of the weird flamboyance and whatever happens here that doesn't suit the show. They decide that Ruby wants to go to see the Beatles record an album in Abbey Road Studios or something. And then they say to each other, well, we got to get, we have the best wigs and outfits here. We have to go look proper for the time or something like that. And that's not really a thing. I mean, it's not like they're in ancient Italy or something like we saw with Hartnell, where maybe he looks a little different, where sometimes maybe they try to blend in or something. In this case, they could have just been wearing whatever they wore. It wouldn't have mattered to anybody. Could have gotten away with it in the 60s. They didn't need to put on wigs and like era appropriate clothing. It's more because the show wants to do that now. It's trying to be something else than it was, if that makes any sense.
Was it the Glee episode?
No, but you know that
Yeah, they sing at the end.
You know that when Russell T was making the first Doctor in the 2000s, somebody said to him, "Oh, you're making that show with the guy who wears the costume all the time," and he that really got to him. So I'm not surprised that he's gotten rid of that aspect of Doctor Who. The next thing he'll do is he'll make the TARDIS pink, I reckon. So they're slowly
Well,
getting
not
rid of what's Doctor Who.
Not the Happiness Patrol again.
Exactly.
Z, are you
Phoebe.
available, please, my friend?
I most certainly am. And Film Comics Explained for Australian $10. Apparently, Doctor Who isn't for straight white men. Well, I'm black and straight, and it's not for me either. Why is race and sexuality taking preference over story? We need an eternal bin for Doctor Who.
Infinity
Those-
bin.
You're not wrong.
Infinity bin. And congratulations, my friend, on the milestone of the channel. Well done, mate.
I heard that he like as I said, my brother was watching Doctor Who, and
Dr.
I was in my bedroom, and I had to go to the kitchen to get another drink, and as I went past my living room, and I saw because we got a big TV that they were dancing in this like musical number, and I was like, "This is Doctor Who."
Yeah,
That's
because all
awful.
black people dance and sing. Didn't you know that? You know
But
that.
that is actually in the second episode. But before we go there, I wanted to say something, and this actually is in both episodes. There's one thing. Which of you are saying that they're too familiar with each other, even though it's a new relationship? Somebody said that now.
Yeah, I
That
said
was
that.
Z.
See, so I agree with you. And one of the things that happens in this episode that's weird in the Space Babies, first of all, the Doctor is afraid. He's scared and he runs away, which I never like seeing, especially also with the flamboyance and all the other weird stuff. He's like running away and he's afraid, which I don't like seeing that way. And then he tells her, I'm never afraid. I'm never afraid. And then she's like, oh, I can't believe it. You're never afraid. Or I don't know what. In the next episode, when the drag queen arrives, he runs away again. And then she comes up to him and she says, why are you afraid? You're never afraid. You always have all the solutions. You're never afraid. And it's like, you've been with him for 5 seconds and he just keeps running away. Why would you even think that he's competent at this point?
There was one moment where he did something heroic when, at the end, when the stock beast is being sucked out through
Oh, he saved it.
what do we call airlock. Just
Right,
like an alien,
and he stops it. Yes, then he was a
Like,
hero again.
Did you notice though, like when he was sucked into that void, he hit the wall at the other end near the opening. That would not happen, right? If you're going to be sucked through, you'd be sucked through the opening, not hit the wall. There's nothing from the wall to suck you to the wall. That's so stupid. That's not how physics works.
No,
That's
you
not
would
how
have been a
decompression
goner
works.
if
Yeah.
he would have been
So
a
you
goner.
watched it then?
No, I watched Seska says Jesus,
right.
reaction channel.
I thought the set for that episode looked like the Alien Romulus set
Probably was.
Probably, yeah.
because it was a great set. The production looked fantastic.
The BBC, when they did the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, used the set from Alien.
Really, I
Yeah.
did not know.
The corridor on the Vogon ship. Yeah, that was.
Well, that was Batsy Power Station, wasn't it? Before it got turned
Yeah.
into a mall. So I mean, even Batman used the same sets, the same stairs. If you look at the first Batman movie, it's the same stairs the Joker goes down. It's the same stairs that Ripley goes down. So that was Batsy Power Station. So, yeah.
And in the first episode, there was also the secret nanny, who she was supposedly AI, but then it's a real person that doesn't want to interact with the babies or something. That was also kind of dumb.
And she was an accountant, wasn't she? That was her
I think
role.
so.
As was him telling the children, nobody ever grows up wrong. Well, try telling that to suicide victims.
Right. That was another one of those that felt like it was going. There was something kind of cheesy and annoying about it. In addition to all the stuff that I don't like that they're doing there, him like, you could never be wrong. You're the best. And the way he talks, it doesn't feel very Doctor to me.
And didn't he say I'm amazing?
Yeah, he did. It was a very narcissistic moment.
I'm amazing. Even though I don't have the Time Lords anymore, I'm amazing. And it's like, oh, what is this? Shut up already.
Definitely Dr. Watts.
But they don't. The thing is, they don't want it to be Doctor Who anymore. So I think I've got some theory about the way the writing's happening now. So just bear with me, right? So basically, I'm told at the ending of the second episode. I'm sorry, I keep jumping to the second episode because people keep telling me about the second episode that they walk on the zebra crossing and it lights up like in Big, like the piano in Big.
What?
Is that true? Someone?
Yes,
Yes.
that is true.
What?
Okay, so I have a theory, right?
Rainbows.
So yeah, I have a theory about this. Okay, so that doesn't make any sense. None of that makes any sense in the screenplay. Logically, it doesn't make any sense. So the LGBT community, a part of the LGBT community, believes in things that don't make any sense, right? Like, I don't know, you can say 1,000 things about that, and I reckon that's what they're implementing into the script now. It's a jibe at common sense, logic, and that's why they're writing the scripts like this. So he can blow in a butterfly, and it can come to life. He can take a hammer and hit the TARDIS and make another TARDIS for no reason. He can walk on a zebra crossing and he can light up. None of this stuff, none of these stuff lives in logic or common
Logic
sense.
and reason is colonial white
gone.
supremacy.
That's why I reckon.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
why they're putting this stuff into the script to
Well, but
actually
RTD said he
implement
wanted
that.
to make it fantasy, and he's right, because it is a fantasy. Because the fantasy is you think you can write good stories again, and you can't. It's a fantasy that you think that it's fine to portray
I think
a 15-year-old trans girl in inverted commas.
yeah,
You
I think it's. I
Yeah,
think
sorry,
it's
go on.
sorry,
ahead.
mate. I think it's a jab at logic, right? Because you know these people don't believe in logic. It's like, so someone that is in a dress, a guy that's in a dress and says that he's a woman. When you confront them with logic and say you can't be a woman because you're born biologically a man, they refuse that logic. And this is what I think is happening with the scripts, especially the Star Wars scripts and the Star Wars scripts. It's
Jinx,
actually
Jinx
go.
Monsoon, Jinx
It's not-
Monsoon
yeah.
in that character, that Maestro character, said, "I'm they them." You know,
Yeah.
he
Ugh.
even used that as well.
Right.
That
yeah.
was just
The opening
so
scene,
on
you
the
get a
nose.
pronoun lecture, don't you?
Yeah.
What?
Right. That's the worst introduction of a villain that could ever be. Yeah, that he, they, I don't even know what I'm supposed to say. Comes out, that person comes out, and then like the guy's like, get away from the boy. It's like, oh, I'm they, them. It's
And
like,
he's always
oh,
shouting. He's just shouting at everything, and
Such-
such a
such a
camp way
bad
that it's
actor,
not
too.
threatening.
I
Over
don't know
the
if he,
top,
script.
hammy as hell.
And if you listen, it's also hypocrisy, because the boy says it's he's my daddy.
Oh.
And also the name of the villain is Maestro,
Yes.
which is the masculine. It should be Maestra if it's a female, and,
So
and there is no
they're
gender
throwing
neutral.
logic out of Doctor Who, aren't they? And
Sheer
that's
double fucking
exactly what
standards,
this
that's what it is.
whole this whole people that's what they're trying to tell you, that logic doesn't in they're trying to teach kids that logic doesn't exist anymore. This is just my theory. That's what
Should be Maestrex.
It's moved away from grounded sci-fi and into magical man territory, and I don't think that's good for the brand.
No, it's confused. Very.
he said it himself. Russell T Davies said that this is what he was going to do, and he's doing it. At least he's been telling us, and he's following through on it.
Well, and
Follow
this is
through
after-
being the opposite word there, yes.
Literally, yeah. He's made it very clear. He's told fans. He's told a friend of mine personally on Instagram to F off after daring to criticize and not blow smoke up his ass. So he's told an awful lot of people to F off. And now with the ratings in for the overnights,
We'll get to that in a minute. Yeah.
for this is extraordinary.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
Get what you asked for.
But back to the second episode, since we're already going over that one.
Yeah.
I think that one of the most disappointing aspects is how they marketed that they're going to meet the Beatles, and as if the Beatles are going to be important to the episode. But this wasn't like the Van Gogh episode. Like the Beatles are almost an afterthought here. The actors playing them are not, don't seem like them at all. And even what they do here in this episode is so minor and so they're just a plot convenience of sorts. They don't really do anything. And I can't, not that I ever had any expectations, but if anybody had expectations to see the Beatles in this episode, you can throw those expectations out the window. This is just some joke, in my opinion.
Okay. Shall we proceed with some slides?
Oh God.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll just we'll go through it all. Okay, ratings. Hashtag Doctor Who streaming first strategy coupled. Here you go. Excuses already. Coupled with good weather causes linear ratings to fall.
What?
So it's the weather, folks.
Blame the weather.
Climate
two-
change.
Yeah, how dare you? 2.6 million and 2.4 watched Faith Babies and The Devil's Called on BBC One last night. iPlayer figures are not included.
And yet, didn't the show directly after Doctor Who, which was the Eurovision, didn't that get something like 8 million or something?
Yes.
So
Probably.
that's a load of shite right there. It's because it wasn't very good. And
Did they
because
do the
people
music
fuck off.
program to lead into Eurovision? Was that intentional, do you think?
You know what? I think, right? I think the reason why, apart from the really bad script and them pushing the agenda, I think the main reason why that people are not watching Doctor Who is because of Shooty. And it's not because of what he said about touching grass or anything. I think the normies look at Shooty and they instinctively know that this is not the Doctor. And they step
Possibly, yeah.
back. It's like my brother, he was like, Doctor Who's on, and he sat down and he was like, who's this? And I said, that's the new
Dr.
Doctor.
Watt.
You know, and I said, I'm not watching this. And I went into my room. He didn't even know the Doctor had changed because the last one he saw was the one with
What?
David Tennant. So that's what I'm saying. I think instinctively people is looking at this and then subconsciously they go in, this is not what I've signed up for. And then they step away. And I think, but it's really bad casting that's destroying this show
Oh.
completely. That's what I think.
Well, if your brother didn't know they'd changed
No, he didn't.
the character, it's going to tank next
The
week.
reason why he
isn't it?
didn't know is because it's not in the cultural zeitgeist. And no matter how much
Absolutely.
they keep pushing this, that it's so important, it's so relevant, it's so whatever. It's not. No one's really talking about this other than a few crazy people on Twitter
Yeah.
and people like us.
They had a chance to set this up. Once David Tennant came back for 3 episodes, if they would have delivered 3 fantastic episodes that really fans are talking about again, and then let's say they introduce
Yeah.
Ncuti Gatwa, but they do it without making him, and I know I sound like a jerk, but as flamboyant, just the fact that in his personal life he does whatever he does, it doesn't mean that his performance as the character has to be whatever his personal life is. It
Mhm.
has to be what's more true to the character. He's not a terrible actor. If he would have gone more for just traditionally playing the Doctor and without also the messaging, and there would have been good screenplays, maybe some kind of goodwill would have been built somewhere. But with David Tennant immediately getting lectured about pronouns and saying that he's not as good as women, and with all the other messaging there,
Yeah.
and then at the end with Ncuti arriving in his underwear and everything we've seen, they just haven't laid the groundwork for anybody to care.
He's just playing Eric from Sex Education. It's the same character, just
Right.
now he's in a blue police box that travels through space and time. It's the
Yes.
same thing, and it doesn't suit. It's more Shooty. They've crammed Shooty into the role of the Doctor rather than the Doctor into Shooty. If you know what I mean.
Do you know what? Also, another thing that bothers me, and I've always said this ever since I've been on any kind of live stream. I always said that the Doctor Who needs to grow up. It's never grown up. It's still in a kid stage where in a year where it doesn't belong. If the Doctor changes into a woman, why didn't they address that? Why didn't the Doctor look in the mirror and go, "Shit, I'm a woman now"? You know, shit, I've got these on my chest. What the hell's this all about? And then when he changes from the woman to a black guy, why doesn't he look in the mirror and go, "Oh my God, I'm a black guy"? Do you know what I mean? They just ignored all that, which means they don't take the Doctor Who thing seriously about and not treating it with respect and logic. You know what I mean? And
Well, it's
that
like
is one of the main
when
reasons why it's not working. One
David
of the
Tennant-
many reasons why it's not working. Sorry, mate.
I just thought it would have been hilarious if he just looked in the mirror once
Yeah,
and went,
yeah.
still not ginger.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. Or if he had come out with ginger hair, that would
Very
have been.
good.
But I think as well, it is that kind of gloss over it. It's this kind of process of normalization, right? Of the out of the ordinary as ordinary as possible.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like when David Tennant as the 14th Doctor, which is just the 10th Doctor rehashed, but worse. He came out and said, "Oh, yeah, he's really hot." About
Crap, yeah.
Newton or something. Yeah, he's really hot. Oh, is that who I am now? So all of a sudden, it's like you can change the color of your skin or you can change your sexuality on a whim, and that's just not how it is. I can understand if you got Time Lords who are black or Time Lords who are gay or whatever, but you shouldn't just be able to change that. It's not a fundamental aspect of a personality. That is a very, very hardwired thing. You know, you can't just change that like that.
Do you remember, right, in the old episodes, right, with Peter Davison, he looks in the mirror and he goes, you know, he says something when he sees himself in the mirror. Then you've got David Tennant that went from Chris Eccleston to David Tennant. He was like, oh, I've got new teeth, oh, I've got a mole, blah blah blah. You know, and it's the same thing with all the people that become the new Doctor. They recognize they've changed physically.
Yeah.
When Jodie became a Doctor, none of that. When this guy became a Doctor, none of that. It's not Doctor Who. This is not Doctor Who. This is
Dr. Watt.
This is a gay fantasy version of a fanfic of Doctor Who. This is what it is.
And remember when Jodie came bursting through that train?
Should have been dead.
Without being spaghettified. Yeah, and then someone made a remark about her being a woman or something. And she said, oh, am I? That was it.
And
until we had the upgrade line, you know.
Did you guys notice the huge member berry that was dropped in this episode? Which I have a feeling that I know why it was dropped. The thing with Susan, that he's like, I had a granddaughter, Susan, she's living in this time. And he's like, oh, you have children? He's like, yes, I do. And then he starts talking about it. The reason I think he mentions her is that Brian May's wife, the old lady sitting in the yard, I have a feeling that by the end of it, they're going to say that that's Susan. I don't know why.
But she's in the wrong time, because Susan was in the future, left in the future.
I don't know.
Invasion was in 2021 something, wasn't it? I can't remember.
You may be right, but I don't know. He was saying just because he dropped her name, I figured for some reason it's all going to connect to that. Not that it makes sense logically, but because I feel like they wouldn't have dropped it. It seemed like a moment that they were dropping something that will be relevant later. Either they're going to run into her in another time, or that
bring
old
back Caroline Ford, because she's still alive, and I know that she would love to have been brought in at some point to reprise that role. At least get her in once before you regenerate her. I don't think it's going to be. I think you might be right, but I don't think it will be. It will be.
No. Some people are actually referring back to the dance routine at the end. There's always a twist at the end.
That was awful. That was so cringe.
It was cringe. But there's an actress named Susan Twist, which has had roles in all of the Ncuti Gatwa episodes so far, leading people to believe that the actress is playing the part of Susan in a twist ending, or Ruby is Susan, and her biometric signs are being masked by a chameleon arch, or Ruby is his great-granddaughter, and is in fact Susan's daughter.
Who gives a fuck, basically?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
But who's the old lady then? Who's the old? That's not.
I thought the master, but
that'll be so awful.
But she didn't know what the TARDIS was at the start of that Ruby Rose thing, did she? She didn't know what it was, and then at the end she did. So I don't know what happened in the middle of all that.
Okay,
So
let's move on. We've got
just before you do, I mean, my biggest problem with the episode is the Doctor and the Ruby go to a rooftop on Abbey Road, and he laments that he's the last of the Time Lords again. And he points across to London, and he tells Ruby that he's currently in Totter's Lane, with his granddaughter Susan, but at no time does he go and ask for his help. There are two doctors in the same place at the same time, and he doesn't ask for help.
True.
Yeah.
And why are you lamenting over the loss of your granddaughter Susan? She's right over there, you dumb motherfucker.
Right.
Because the script doesn't make any sense, and logic's been thrown out the window, as you can tell. And this is where they're going with Doctor Who.
And I have another question for you. If the John Lennon has a conversation and he says that he knows the music is bad, their music is bad, and he's saying, "Oh, we're the last ones trying to make music," or whatever it is. The Beatles, their trajectory wouldn't be the same if in 1925 music didn't exist anymore, or whatever they were going for. Then you'd never even have the Beatles form a band or even being in this place. So none of it makes any sense logically. Like what you guys are saying, I'm trying to go with the logic that in 1925. The drag queen took away all the music, and stole it or whatever it is.
Mhm.
This is a different time zone because of the Mavity thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not the time zone that we know. It's a completely different time zone created for this new gay
Yeah, this
Doctor
will be
Who.
all-
I mean,
Ah.
if you're going to change the laws of physics, or if you're going to change reality itself, or you're going to change generally all these sort of internal logics and things, which have been consistent for a number of years, you're going to change all that. At least change it to something that has an internal logic and reason. It's no point just throwing logic and reason out the window. You've got to have something consistent that ties it all together in a real world scenario. If you don't put it in a world that's realistic, then
Right.
you remove all threat because you can't relate to that.
I've got a theory, though. The reason why they've changed the word gravity to Mavity is because that in this world, racism doesn't exist. So when he does the Bridgerton thing, nobody's going to mention his color when he's walking around and stuff like that. And
Well,
that's what I reckon.
According to Moffat, London's always been brown wash or whitewash or whatever it was. And it's
That's not
nonsense,
true.
you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such a complete lie. And then he later said in an interview that, oh, it's not the world that it was, it's the world that we want it to be. And it's like, that's not a time travel show. You didn't have in the 1960s right through the 70s and in the 80s them making the world look like how we would want it to be. They did historicals, at least with some verisimilitude.
Shall we move on?
Thank God. Oh no.
We had a Beatles episode without any Beatles songs. What the fuck?
They
couldn't
haven't got
get
the
the
rights
rights.
to it. Yeah, they haven't got the rights.
Yeah,
Okay,
Disney
this-
couldn't afford the rights.
Okay, this is discussing film. The majority of the tweets I use for the shows are from them. Season 14 of Doctor Who is not an attempt to dumb down the series for unfamiliar audiences, but rather a crash course designed to highlight what the show has always been.
Bollocks.
That's a lie, then, isn't it?
Bollocks.
They're always shills. It's a disgusting film. Have always been shills. That's all they do.
Can I just say that and I've said this a lot, during the classic Doctor Who run, right? This is the difference between classic Doctor Who and New Who. The simple fact is, classic Who was written for intelligent 10-year-old boys. Now it's written for
Or
dumb
girls.
30-year-old. No, it's for boys.
Oh, okay.
And it was written, and girls could love it too. But it was for boys, and girls loved it too. Okay, it was a boys' own adventure story. Classic Who, intelligent 10-year-olds. Nowadays, it's written for dumb 30 to 40-year-olds.
Yeah, Doctor Who
of
era.
any gender. Yeah, Doctor Who, exactly. That to say that it's not dumbed down is in itself dumb.
Dumbed
Because
down.
it's so clearly dumbed down. I mean, it's not the same show. This is Disney's Wholander. Or Dr. Whatever you want to call
Dr.
it. It's not
Watts.
Doctor Who.
You know,
Mumberclad.
also the assistants or the companions, whatever you want to call them these days, they were there for the dads in the 70s, so they would get
Yeah.
Leela in there so the dads could watch it because they'd fancy Leela and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And lesbians.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too.
There's nothing
but
wrong with that, by the way.
That's nothing. Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I do like this girl, Millie, but I don't. If I was casting, I would never have cast. I would have cast someone much more better looking and
She's
taller,
just
and
a poor
you
man's
know,
Rose
that's what I would
Tyler.
do. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would think about the
Coronation
dads. I would
Street.
think about young guys. You know,
Well,
having
Rabbi
something
likes her, doesn't he?
good to- yeah, he does. But he
I
likes
don't.
any-
I don't hate her. I don't hate her. I think that first of all,
not.
I think that they try to not make her look as good as she could. I think she
Yes.
can look better than
That's
what we
deliberate.
see.
Yeah, she's quite nice. Yeah.
She,
They dress her as a sket, basically.
and she's not the best actress, but she doesn't bother me. If there was a good doctor here, I wouldn't be bothered her by her at all. I also just want to say that I forgot to say before. It's not the color of the skin of Nashudi or anything like that. If they would have gone for like an Idris Elba
Yeah.
type of actor.
Patterson Joseph would have
Yeah,
been
been fucking
excellent.
shit hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that could have been interesting. It's just they chose an actor who's not right for this.
It's stinking
he-
the place out. Of it.
He's totally not right for it, and also right. If this was 20 years ago, even 15, or even 10 years ago, and they cast a black guy as the Doctor, I would have been happy. But
Yeah, I
this
didn't-
this
wouldn't
this
care, yeah.
era, casting
Yeah.
a guy in this, I
because
think
you
it's
know
completely.
yeah, because you know what's happening.
Yeah.
If
Okay,
they had
this-
cast a black man in the 80s,
Yeah,
at least then you would have had set a precedent very early on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think they left it way too late. I'm not saying they shouldn't have done it, but I think
sloppy seconds, everybody.
Patterson Joseph was meant to be, I think he was going to take the role before Matt Smith did.
Mm.
And if you've ever
Really?
seen Neverwhere, he played a character in that, which is very doctory. And he would have been, I think, quite brilliant.
Okay, let's. This is kind of a sidestep. Same company ish. This is from Guy. I reviewed Guy. I reviewed the new Doctor Watts season 4 at Discussing Film. A very entertaining and likable start that attempts to ask the question: how do you revive a show that didn't go anywhere?
What? What does he? Has he ever watched Doctor Who?
Triggered.
These guys, I think very little of them.
I
The
think
thing
they
is that if you
think
click
nothing.
on his name, does he have a rainbow flag on his
course he does.
Twitter
I
thing? And if he does,
couldn't
then
even
yeah.
bother.
galore.
No.
Pronouns.
Yeah.
Show
Rainbow
didn't
flag.
go anywhere after.
Well, it certainly
Fir-
went more than 2.4 million. Let's put it that way. Previously, even Jodie Whittaker got more than that overnight.
Mm.
So shut your mouth.
Look, this isn't Doctor Who, right? The Doctor
What is it?
has a
Zoolander.
Dr. Watts.
well, it's not. The Doctor has a character, and he has traits as well, and they've just stripped him of this. Listen, Shooty is the wrong person to play this character, totally and utterly. If you look at him in that stupid Christmas special, he was awful,
Give me the lovin'.
Oh, God.
incredibly awful. And also when he was with David Tennant, it was just a big joke. It was a big. This is a waste of everyone's
Well, he
time.
regenerated out of David Tennant's Bell End, didn't he?
This is a waste of time. This is Russell T's wet dream, and let him have it. That's all I.
We got
Okay.
Clobby. We got Clobbering Times in the chat. Can we send him a link? Does he want to come on? I think.
Hey,
so.
Clobby, what's up?
Well, no, sorry.
What? Get out of here. Get in the bin.
Let's move on then, because
Go
we've
on
still
then.
got a fair few bits
Go on
to
then.
get through. Okay. Writer Russell T. Davis makes clunky attempts to be current. Space babies references refugees, government cuts, and restrictions on gender pronouns crop up when Jinx Monsoon arrives. Get away from him, a character warns. Them, retorts Maestro. I'm them.
And there's one
What?
person sat there. Yeah, shut the fuck up. You're not of them. You're a
What?
fucking man. You're a bloke.
He's my daddy. He's my
He-
daddy.
It's
The
not
kids
even a
said
good
that.
actor. It's whoever the they them actor drag queen thing. It's not even like so cringe the acting. Forget about all the LG stuff and whatever propaganda. The acting is bad.
You're a drag
Is
queen.
it?
You're a
Yeah.
gay man. Okay? It's not trans. Drag is not trans.
Jinx
You're not
Monsoon
them.
looked like Angry Kid in bad makeup
Yeah.
and in full panto mode.
Piss funny that was.
So why did Shooty have to wear a wig?
To blend into the 60s, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Wait, Mum.
Exactly.
But afros were in the 70s, not so much in the 60s.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but nothing makes sense here, like everybody keeps saying. So they had to put the wig on him or whatever.
But
And
he
didn't
could have
the-
passed without the wig.
Yes, exactly.
Didn't he say a line in there about making songs for what was it? Something about lesbians.
What? I'm gonna watch
Yes,
that.
yeah. Oh, this is a good point. What happened is that at some point the only person in this universe, in this timeline or whatever it is, in 1963, that knows anything about music is Ruby Sunday, that knows how to play the piano, as we saw in that first Shooty Gatwa episode. So basically, he tells her, "You're our only hope. You have to sit here and play music." So she sits at the piano and she said, "This is a song I wrote to a girlfriend when she broke up with her girlfriend." and then he's like, "Oh, this is so great." So she plays the song, and then the drag queen appears, takes away the powers or the song or whatever it is, and then she says, "Oh, you wrote some song for some lesbian."
No, it was a derogatory thing before that. It was like for depressed lesbians or something like that, or whatever
Something,
it was.
so something along those lines.
I thought it was Keith Lemon doing bow selector, proper Boatelli.
I mean, it seems like a running
Do you
theme
wanna
because she also
rewind?
mentioned that her
Bow
mum
selector.
had a girlfriend
Everyone's gay.
in Space Babies. So
Everyone's gay now.
It's proper
It's-
Boatelli.
it's all gone a bit TQ.
There isn't one
Yeah.
straight person. There's not one straight person in this
What?
entire show anymore. Not one.
Okay, on that bombshell, let's move on then.
Not even the Beatles.
Okay. The Devil's Chord. My family and I are gutted that we thought that this. Sorry. My family and I are gutted that we thought that this was dreadful too. I don't think he's done it properly there. What has happened to our favourite TV show? Utter garbage in every level. Nashuti seems like he's playing a different character to the one I've known and loved all my life.
How do you
Awful.
pronounce his name? I thought it was just Shooty.
Nashuti.
I
No,
sometimes say
Nashuti.
Nashuti because I just like saying that. It
All
amuses me.
right.
But
Okay, I see you next Tuesday.
Shooting his mouth off. Yeah.
It is awful, isn't it? I mean, it's not even Doctor Who. It's a shame, really, because they could have really went in another direction with all of this and made proper Doctor Who, and then it would probably would have survived. And
you see, I think that they can work together and make it work as a TARDIS team, but they're just written so badly.
And the thing is that they're filming season 2 now, so everything is baked in already. Unless they do some very rapid reshoots very quickly,
but
it's all baked in.
But Z, you shouldn't wish for that, right? Listen, right? The best thing that can happen to this is they wipe this off the face of the planet. Do you know why? Because what they're doing is insidious. They basically are ooming, I'm not allowed to say that word on this stream, children, right? And there are a few children that watch this, and not only Doctor Who, but other children's shows as well. They're putting all this crap in there. One of the reasons why I won't watch this show is because of that moral standing. I will not watch it because I know what they're doing, and to actually watch it is to be part of that, what they are doing. And I just refuse to do that now. When this goes down in history as the worst thing that ever happened to entertainment, I can honestly stand up and say I did not contribute to this crap.
Good man.
Any of them.
Yeah.
So
Do you know,
that's why I'm out.
The chat are 100% behind everything what the panel is saying on this. It's not good, is it? It's not good, is it, folks? It's not good, is it, folks?
It's blatant, and they're not even trying to hide it anymore. That's
Russell
the thing.
T Davis is using the show that we love as a political platform.
Yeah, and he can die in a hole.
Again, I say it's worse than that. See, it's worse.
In
But they're
shoot his
trying
hole.
to. They're trying to do that to the kids. It's worse. I mean, even in schools now, you've got drag queens reading bloody stories to kids and stuff,
awful.
which to me is not right.
No,
you know.
it's not right.
Look, I have nothing against the gay community. You know,
it's nothing to do with me.
Please don't say I've got gay friends.
But I just think that this thing that they're doing, these people, that they're it's insidious in our entertainment.
It's not good. It's not even. They're just blatant about it. Okay, let's proceed.
Oh God, who's this?
The Maestro was probably one of the worst things I've ever seen. No exaggeration. That's from John Delaroz.
You know what? You should mix it up and put ones that did actually support this stuff. I like to see what they say about this crap.
Couldn't find any.
Well, this Sphinx Monsoon geezer has been said in a recent interview that people are who don't want to watch it are tuning out. Good riddance. He said good riddance. And you know what? Good riddance to you. Your career's in the toilet. So
yeah, I mean, the media over the last 2 weeks, we've been told not to watch it. We've been told to fuck off. We've been told to touch grass, and
And I
now
took a
we're being
picture of me
told
touching grass. Yeah,
it's just not made for us. What did they expect
as
when
well.
the viewing figures went down the pan?
exactly.
Probby, do you like the background, by the way?
Yeah, I went out and touched grass. And loads of people.
Yeah, I did as well. Yeah, I did.
Took
The
pictures
thing
of
is,
themselves
though,
touching grass. Great.
when Doctor Who
Dr.
after
Watts.
second season and they stop making it because it's not working, they're not going to care about this product. And what's sad is that Doctor Who's probably going to die forever until somebody, proper comes along and resurrects it. But me at my age, this is probably the last time that I'm going to see any kind of new Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to watch this shit anyway. But that's what I'm saying. By the time they
10
start
years
reading,
at least.
yeah, I'll probably
10,
be
15
in my
years.
80s. Do you know what I mean? Probably
The
won't care anymore.
The BBC has never known what to do with Doctor Who. They've never understood it. Never. When it was cancelled in the 80s, it was doing better, even though it was put up against Coronation Street.
Yeah.
But the BBC hated Doctor Who at that point and wanted it gone. Now, now it's not doing so well. They love it and they want it to go on. They just never got it right. Never.
My brother said to me, "Is this gay night?" He goes, "Right, we've got 2 episodes and then suddenly we have the gayest Eurovision Song Contest."
They go
ever.
cancelled by Michael Grade.
Yeah. Bring back Michael Grade.
I mean,
I'll say that.
I've said on numerous occasions that I'm prepared to give Shooty a full season.
Full shit.
But after these first 2 episodes, I'm really starting to regret that decision and may change my mind.
But even
He's not
even
himself
if the
today.
next episode is brilliant by Moff, really, morally speaking, it doesn't matter how good any of the episodes are. Stay away from it because you'd be contributing to Oomin Kids, right? Why would you contribute to that? Why?
Well, I use the Pirate Bay, so no, I'm not contributing to anything.
All right.
They do actually, I think, from what I was told by somebody, I don't know if it's true or not, but they do take into account how many times it's been pirated in certain websites. So they actually do include those sneakily somehow in the ratings. I don't know.
That would be
I wouldn't
funny.
be surprised. I would not be surprised if that's true.
Okay, let's.
Is she in the bin? Or he's in the bin?
No, well, this section is the bin.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
move on.
That would
No,
be a
he's in-
great meme. Just take that picture and then put a bin
He's
around
in a
it.
piano.
Oh, okay.
The CGI
Okay.
bin in.
Just Angry Kid, everybody. If you've not seen Angry Kid,
Yeah.
check out Angry Kid, especially our American viewers. It is Angry Kid, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, check it out.
Or
Brilliant.
Winifred Saunderson from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Hollywood Reporter. You can't ignore my chocolateness.
I can and I will.
Yeah.
Shooty Gatwa talks about how race is explored through his role as the new Dr. Watts.
So he's a black gay guy that's scared of monsters and runs away.
Yes, twice.
Twice.
Well, look at his chocolateness, Ian.
But
And
that's
one of them was a drag queen.
Do
exactly.
you think do you think he got called chocolate or something like that when he was a kid and that stuck in his craw and this is his revenge? Do you think maybe that could be playing a part in this? I don't know.
Don't know.
Don't
He
care.
was bullied at school.
Good.
Yeah, but
He was from Rwanda, though, isn't he? Rwanda.
Yeah, in Rwanda, everybody
But-
gets bullied.
So, I mean, because he was
I was
bullied. I mean,
bullied.
I was bullied. Loads of people were bullied, but that doesn't give him the right to start bullying other people and being a racist shit like he has been by calling people gammon.
Mm.
I'm
That's
sorry,
me.
two wrongs don't make a right.
And on the show, he always looks like he's starring in a naughty movie. His vibe. He always looks at people in this kind of weird way. I
Like
know
he's
that's a weird.
undressing
That's.
them,
I don't know how to explain it exactly, but that's how I feel when I see
Dirty
him.
bastard look, in other words.
You know,
Has
this
anyone-
guy is.
Has
you
anyone
know,
noticed the jarring fourth wall breaks?
Yeah, I noticed.
Because
That.
he did that in The Devil's Cord. He looked straight at camera and
Oh,
winked
okay.
at us.
It's subtle then, yeah.
no.
And didn't that
it's
Jinx
not.
Monsoon do that as well?
I mean, on purpose, though.
Yeah, and
It's done
also
on
you
purpose.
got Mrs. Flood at the end of his
Yeah, yeah.
church on Ruby Road.
Yeah.
I mean, other doctors have done this in the past.
Tom Baker,
yeah, well, especially Tom Baker, and even the 12th Doctor gave us a full lecture on the bootstrap paradox.
And the 13th, Jodie Whittaker lecturing us about climate change or something.
Yeah,
us being monsters or something.
It's just so jarring the way they're doing it in here. It's like the whole thing is a panto, and they know they're in a TV show.
Yeah.
I feel like he's undressing me with his eyes. Oh, look here. But I must be wrong because he never flowed up.
He does have that look, though. I understand.
It's because he's got no gag reflex.
Because something happens in past Doctor Who doesn't necessarily mean
That's
say
what.
it's good. It's good for this era. If look, Doctor Who needs to grow up. It
That's
needs
what.
to have. It needs to have a built-in logic that you can't break in it, and also it needs to be cast right and written right. They have failed in every level. On this
The only way for
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who to survive is if it's wrenched away from Russell T Davies, if it's wrenched
it's
away
gone,
from
though,
the
isn't it?
Fitzroy crew,
That's
if
what
it's
Chris
wrenched
Eccleston
away
said.
from the
Yeah, Chris Eccleston,
Disney.
Jane Tranter,
Yeah,
Phil Coulson,
yeah, and
Russell
T.
T.
Yeah.
Sacked a lot of them.
It's really
he was
funny
right,
because
wasn't
he was sitting right next to Billy when he said that,
And she
didn't
was
he?
just smiling, wasn't
And she was just so those two are kind of like, I think they agree on that count.
Yeah.
But Billy hasn't been so public as Chris has. So.
I think Billy, like when you saw Billy and Matt Smith in an interview together, they were talking just between themselves, and this was just after the Timeless Child thing, and they were kind of semi-mocking it in a sort of nod, wink kind of way. I don't think they're on board with any of this stuff at all.
No,
I really don't. I think,
well, only if there's a break of like 10 years that none of these people involved in it, none of Russell T Davies and his crew and all those people, 10 years, and maybe somebody that actually likes Doctor Who does something, maybe you have a chance at a later point to revive it. But this is just going to fail.
I think you have to
It's
reboot
failed.
it as if none of this happened. I think you just have to start fresh, a new first Doctor in a whatever, like it's time cycled or something, you know, and just start without even knowing which Doctor it is or any numbering system. Get rid of all that. I mean, 15th Doctor just sounds stupid now anyway. I mean, it's just too many. So I just start not knowing which Doctor it is, start with an older man, have that mystery added, to say time is being rewritten or something, whatever, just start fresh.
Okay, let's move on. So quickly just do Nerdrotic. Oh, it started. Oh, it's
How's it
going.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That sums it up.
Z, are you available, please, my friend?
I most certainly am. Joe Eager in the chat for $20 says, Gat was in a difficult position. The first two episodes had him wrangling with space babies and a magical musical devil. The writing is just abysmal. You're absolutely right. It is abysmal. And I don't know why they just didn't lead with the strongest story.
No,
maybe
look,
that's their strongest story.
But Russell needs to retire. He needs to go now.
No, that's not the problem. The problem is the whole thing. The whole thing is the problem. Everything from the casting to the writing to the sets, everything is the problem. Not only these people, everything. All of this should be trashed completely and utterly away from this crap. Seriously,
it's not Doctor Who. It's like
it's Dr. What?
This is
Doctor
as much
Who.
Doctor Who as Star Wars. Disney
Who.
Star Wars is Star Wars. It's just not the same animal at all.
This is Doctor Who, love, with all
Doctor
its
Who.
chocolatey goodness. So you better like it. Otherwise, you're a homophobe and a transphobe.
Oh, we'll get to that in a
and
minute.
an istophobe, and you're going to prison.
Under phobe.
If you live in Scotland, you'll be reported under a hate crime law, and then you'll get bummed in prison.
By Russell T Davies.
Oh, this was the big one today. Metro. I got the screen grab. Sorry, straight white men. Doctor Who was never made for you. Ian, how do you feel about that?
He is wrong.
It was
because there's a history of straight white men playing the Doctor. So what the are you talking
Not only
about?
that, but it was in the 1960s in a vastly majority white country, and a vast majority of the audience were white males. Okay,
Right.
so that's a
What?
lie, right out and out lie.
And a
This
brown
whole
man directed
article-
the first episode, so
Yeah.
he can just shut up.
This whole article has been
This is
nothing
a-
but a parade of wokeness.
This is a
in
UK
cope mode.
publication, folks. Did they still do the
Metro.
newspaper?
Yeah, they do. It's free. Yeah.
Do you know that their Twitter account, after all this ratio, they
We'll get
shut
to that in a
down their
minute.
Twitter account?
Well,
We'll
no,
get to
because
that
it
in
was at Metro that was. See here, it's at Metro UK, but I think the one that disappeared
No, it's
was
this
at
one.
Metro, wasn't it?
No, it's this one.
I thought it was
If you go to Twitter now
Well,
and try to find Metro UK, you'll see that this account is no longer available. It's
Gone.
been shut down.
Yeah, it's gone.
Well, I think they've. Well, if that's true, then they've deactivated, didn't they?
Yeah,
it's
I
gone.
guess
This one's
they
gone.
they got so much backlash that they deactivated their Twitter account. The article is real though; it's still up on the official website. It's just the Twitter with all of the ratioing. They shut down the whole Twitter.
Brilliant.
And what is he wearing? Seriously.
His grand's blouse,
Skin
by the looks of
tight.
it.
Yeah, it's skin tight. Look at my muscles. Okay, so that, as I said, I managed to get the screen grab for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh, it is
Captain
that one.
Bliss.
Okay, yeah. See,
There you
I'm
go,
not on
folks.
Twitter.
Massive backlash.
And that, more of this. We need to start holding these people to account. All of these shill media wankers need to be absolutely trounced on social media for all
I
this.
thought Metro UK was well respected. That's been going for quite a
years
you know,
ago.
for years. Oh, okay.
It's been wokeified for a number
Oh
of years
dear.
now. Yeah.
Oh dear.
I don't care anymore. I really don't.
What
Just
really
don't
is-
care.
Have you
I
got
really
meltdown?
Can somebody please call the Samaritans for Ian?
Yeah, please. Just seriously.
It's shit.
Okay, so
Like
that was the
everything.
account. The article apparently was written by
This useless waste of
person.
space. Yeah.
she or they, them, or whatever they identify, changed their Twitter account so her posts are protected.
Yeah,
Instead
of
that
being
makes
open.
sense.
These people live in a bubble, so there you are.
Well, if you're going to
I-
share your shitty opinions on the internet, expect backlash.
Yeah.
Metro
Racist bitch.
Entertainment reporter, previously Pink News. Is that Bustle? I don't know. And
All
Digital
the usual,
Spy.
probably all other crappy publications.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
If anyone else posted anything about racist comments like these people, they would be ousted. They would be hounded out their jobs. These people can say the most racist shit about white people
Yeah,
and
they're allowed to,
sexist shit, against men, and that's fine. Now that's such a double standard. We've got to start
Sheer
calling
double
this
fucking
shit out.
standards.
Absolutely, enough is enough. Stop being a two-faced
Pronouns in bio. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Hello,
Oh,
Con.
I'm so sick of these fuckwits. I really am.
Well, good luck to them. That's all I can say. I don't want to waste any second of my thought or my time with these people.
Well,
any
this
of
will
it now.
once
They
the
are
stream is finished, no more Doctor Who, folks.
Thank God.
Okay, do you want to move on then?
Yeah, move on. Back to that then.
This is community notes. So we've got the original tweet. Sorry, straight white men, Doctor Who was never made for you. And then readers added context. It says, here we go. This is not true. Doctor Who was always billed as a family show.
It was open to everyone, but not everyone would like Doctor Who.
That's community
Remember
notes,
when
folks.
Doctor Who was so uncool to love,
Dr.
like
Watts.
back in the 80s?
I
If
remember.
you like Doctor Who, you'd be beaten up. Girls did not like Doctor Who in
What?
general because they thought it was nerdy boy stuff. A lot of girls did like Doctor Who, but they were nerdy girls. And now it's for trendy people who don't care about science fiction. They don't care about Doctor Who. They just care about the thing of the moment. You know, the TikTok generation, they don't watch Doctor Who. And the figures bear that out. So
The reason why people didn't like Doctor Who was because of how cheap it was and
Yeah.
how the effects were awful.
Stories were
But-
great, though.
The clever people like us, we listened to what the dialogue was saying and the
Great.
story, and we realized that it wasn't about the visual effects, it was more about the story and how the performance was
Like
and stuff
Seven.
like that. So we were more cleverer than these idiots that only saw bad. You know, we used to call it fuzzy film in those days because of the bad key and effects.
It was
We saw
intelligently
more than that.
written.
Yeah, we saw
People
more.
who wrote Doctor Who, even though a lot of them were soap writers, like RTD is a soap writer, but they also read books on science. You know, they were very up on what the latest scientific things were in terms of, you know, astronomy, etc. And now it's like they're only interested in the latest political messaging. They're not interested. And one of the greatest writers, Terence Dicks, said, if you're focusing on politics, you're not looking at the right aims.
Yeah.
And he was
Big
right.
O, practical effects were okay, and we used our imaginations then. We did, mate.
Yeah,
And
I
we weren't
remember that when we were a
patronized.
kid.
It has a certain charm to it. I mean, the most important thing is always the writing and the acting.
Yeah.
And knowing that maybe they didn't have such large budgets and they were putting out so many episodes, with the tools they had available, it's just like when you watch a play, a stage play or something, and maybe not everything makes sense when you're seeing it on a stage, but if the acting and the writing is good, you can really believe a lot of what's going on. So
What
Sorry.
sold Doctor Who? Sorry, I know I keep interrupting Colin Crosby. I'm
It's
just,
like you to do that,
I'm
probably.
just wired that way. But what
What's interrupt?
sold the papier mâché monsters and the bubble wrap monsters and all the rest of it was the fact that people like Tom Baker sold it. They acted so
Absolutely.
seriously,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was their seriousness, their belief in it that made you believe in it. That was the key.
But that's the thing, you see, the people that bullied us, that all they can see was the bad aspects of Doctor Who. They couldn't see what we could
Dr.
see.
Watts.
And that's
Yeah.
why we were the true, you know, the true nerds, the
It's
true
not made for you
mega geek.
anymore. It's not made
Big
for
O.
We were the true geeks, weren't we,
Big
when we
O,
were kids?
Max
Made for you
Voon
anymore.
Fondell
Bye.
talking. Spaghetti face man scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Oh, that's Jaggeroth, isn't it? The Scaroth, the Jaggeroth. Yeah.
I always say that doll that came to life at the back of the car in that Pertwee episode, that was the one that scared the crap out of me when I first saw that. I was just terrified. And it just was fascinating that I had to watch Doctor Who again after that episode, you know.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Shall we proceed then?
Yeah, move along.
Move along.
Okay,
That's
so
good,
lots of
man.
these this week. Anything
yeah.
worth watching on the telly tonight?
Nope.
That's great.
So this dog pile masquerading as Doctor Who achieved its lowest ratings ever, and for a season opener too. Proof once again that you go woke and go broke. Where was everyone doing something better?
They blamed the weather, didn't they?
Yeah, we went out and touched grass because it was lovely.
Yeah, I went out and not saw the Aurora Borealis. That was fantastic. That was. Not watching that.
Okay.
Still less garish than Doctor Who.
See, Noel Clark posted this today, and I don't know, is he trolling or not?
I thought that. I thought that.
What? Yeah.
Well, what does he say? Have a great
Sunday all.
Sunday all. What's the plan? Are you churching?
Yeah. Meaning, are you going to church? But look what he's doing with the grass. I thought, okay.
Maybe he just saw loads of people touching grass and thought, yeah, I'm going to touch some grass. Maybe he didn't realize what it was about, but maybe he did. I don't know.
No, he probably is, because he was in Doctor Who and he's probably appalled like all of us, and he's done it subtly, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
That's what I reckon.
There's
no way you would take a picture of you touching the grass.
And there you go. He got hard done by.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Really hard done by.
I reckon he's having a go, but he's been very because obviously he might have to go to conventions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on. I think we're getting to the end. I don't know.
Oh, thank fuck.
Oh, here you go.
Punchable face.
The showrunner will make an appearance in the last episode.
What, as a monster?
No, so you can wink, break the fourth wall, and go, "Hello, everybody." That's what he's going to do.
I heard a rumor that the final villain of this series will be Sutek, and if that's true, I'm gonna absolutely lose my rag because
Who?
Sutek is one of the greatest villains from Pyramids of Mars. He's
Oh,
an
okay.
Azaran god, and because they keep mentioning gods, and he was talking about turning the world to dust, and there's a lot of references like that. And he was sent to the future where he's banished to live forever, and the end of the universe. And this is about the one who waited. So I don't know. I just hope it isn't Sutek. I couldn't bear that.
Move along.
Well, if we move along, I think that's it, mate.
Good.
Thank fuck.
Let's have a look.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Smug bastard.
Why didn't he? What as a black man? Why didn't he just say, "Are you joking? I have to wear this stupid wig"? Why didn't he say that? Has he got no pride? What is wrong with him?
That's all he's
Seriously.
got. That's all he's got is pride, and pride comes before a big fall.
Okay. Who's our favourite doctors? So, Price, favourite doctor.
Tom Baker.
For what reason?
Edie man.
He's
the
just the
goat.
best. I don't know. He's a perfect combination of being like kind of serious when he needs to be, but also very playful and funny, and just I don't know. For me, that's the best.
Z, same question.
Yeah, Tom Baker, although I have a very soft spot for Matt Smith. I think he makes an excellent doctor.
Prop.
Tom Baker and John Pertwee, the two greatest of all time. They are the epitome of everything the Doctor should be.
Really? Ian?
Everybody knows it's John Pertwee and Matt Smith for me. I do like Tom Baker. I really, really like Tom Baker. So I guess those three are my favorites. You can't just have one. Do you know what I mean? Because like they're all very different.
I kind of liked. Oh, sorry.
Those three are good.
I kind of liked. I know Tom Baker was great. Possibly I was maybe a little bit too young. I don't know. I kind of like Peter Davidson.
Yeah, he's all right.
I kind of liked him.
I thought he was good playing the, he did the young man in an old man's body thing before Matt Smith, obviously. But I thought he was a bit too derivative of William Hartnell. I think he'd seen Doctor Who when he was a child, and William Hartnell was the one he saw, and he didn't watch it since. So I think that kind of stuck in his mind as how to play it.
I think the problem with him is that he was just getting into his stride, and then he quit because of that stupid advice that Patrick Troughton gave him.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
What was
he
that?
could have been much better. Oh, Patrick Troughton said to him, "Only play the Doctor for 3 years, and then leave because you'll get typecast." And he took his advice, and then
he regretted it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did regret it. In fact, he actually told me he regretted it when I met him.
Well, now he regrets, who his daughter married. But then again, he's a nightmare itself.
Yeah.
We've got a super chat coming in. The death. Tom has some. I can't speak. Tom has some thoughts. Hello, my friend. For $5, wanted to recommend Sugar, starring Colin Farrell, on Apple TV. As an LA detective, very smart, very well made, but don't Google it to avoid spoilers. I think we've talked about that before, haven't we?
Yeah,
Sugar?
it's who's the guy? Colin Farrell. He would have made a good doctor, actually. He would have made an excellent doctor.
Don't watch Bullet Train. That was good. I like that.
I still to watch that. There you go, folks. Sugar on Apple TV, folks.
Sugar on Apple. Ha ha.
Oh.
Max Roomfondle says Sugar is excellent. So there you go.
Yeah.
I praise.
There you go.
Sugar's excellent.
And John Pertwee, best doctor, and Scarecrow indeed.
Oh, I'm full of the House of Usher. I watched that on Netflix. I thought it was brilliant. There's a lot of woke characters in there, but they'll get sort of picked off. So it's really good fun.
Okay then, folks. I think that is it. That was an extra little bonus edition to keep it away from the main musings. So, chat, you are wonderful. Stellar numbers on both streams, especially this second one. Yeah, we
Well,
got that.
it's a topic of the week, isn't it?
It is, and we won't talk about it again until next time. Okay, chat, you are wonderful. You know that anyway. Appreciate the super chats. We'll see you next time. I will thank the guests from the top. Price of Reason, great to have you on, mate. Cheers.
Thank you, man. Great to be here.
Z3PO. Cheers, Z.
Oh, thank you very much, Brown. See you all on Wednesday for Attack of the Clones Part 3.
It wouldn't be the same without this geezer. All right, Robbie. All right.
Cheers.
All
right.
And last but by no means least, move along. Make a geek. Cheers, eh?
Yeah, no worries. But today in America, it's Mother's Day, isn't it? And in Canada,
still
is it Canada?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah,
Still is, yeah.
Happy Mother's
Day.
Day.
Happy Mother's Day, America.
I think that's it, folks. Beats up probably tomorrow. I don't know. Every time I say it's on, it jinxes it. Echo Chamberlain might be on Tuesday, back Wednesday, but back at the weekend. If you don't see you in the next few days, have a great week, everybody. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.